All right, strap in, everyone, because today we are diving deep into Stoicism,
Deep, deep.
really getting granular with it.
Love it.
We've got your notes, we've got those excerpts from the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday,
That's right.
and we're going way beyond just surface level this time.
Absolutely.
We're talking practical wisdom,
That's it.
not just ancient theories, the kind of stuff that can make a real difference in how you live your life.
That's the goal.
That's what we're here for.
For sure. Right.
Right.
So what's always fascinated you about Stoicism?
You know, it's funny. It's how these ideas that were born centuries ago
Right.
still resonate so strongly today.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like they had a time machine or something,
Mm-hmm.
because the Stoics were dealing with stress, distractions,
Yeah.
difficult people,
Sure.
the search for meaning.
All the stuff we're dealing with now.
Exactly the same struggles we face
Yeah.
in the modern world.
It's crazy.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
I think we need to get on the same page.
Yes.
And make sure everybody knows what we're talking about here.
For sure.
What is Stoicism?
What is it?
Give us the elevator pitch.
Okay, so at its core,
Yeah.
Stoicism is a philosophy.
Okay.
It originated in ancient Greece,
Uh-huh.
but it really took root
Okay.
in the Roman Empire.
Right.
And it really emphasizes things like virtue and reason,
Okay.
living in alignment with nature.
So it's not about just like
Not at all.
being passive and just accepting whatever.
No. It's about taking responsibility for your thoughts, your actions,
Okay.
even when things are hard,
Right.
even when things are really challenging.
Gotcha.
And it's about recognizing what you can control
Right.
and what you can't,
Yeah.
and focusing your energy on the things that you can.
Okay.
Some of the big names, too.
Yeah. Who are we talking?
We're talking Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, wow.
We're talking the playwright Seneca,
Okay.
Epictetus,
Mm-hmm.
who started as a slave
All right.
and became this renowned teacher.
So we're talking emperors,
Yeah.
playwrights,
Playwrights.
slaves.
Mhm.
Sounds like Stoicism was pretty popular back then.
It really was.
But how does it actually work?
How does it work?
What are the key principles that make up this framework?
Well, Marcus Aurelius,
Okay.
in his meditations, outlined 3 disciplines
Okay.
that are all interconnected.
Okay.
Perception,
Mm-hmm.
action,
Right.
and
These are like the pillars of Stoic practice.
You really are.
Oh, and there's that killer quote from him.
Yeah, what is it?
All you need are these: certainty of judgment in the present moment,
Oh, yeah.
action for the common good in the present moment,
Right.
and an attitude of gratitude in the present moment for anything that comes your way.
Yeah.
Woof, that's a lot.
I know it's a mouthful.
Can you unpack that for us?
Of course. So perception
Yeah.
is all about seeing things clearly without letting emotions cloud your judgment.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that while we can't control external events,
Right.
we can control our reactions to them.
So it's like we get to choose
Exactly.
how we interpret
Uh-huh.
what happens to us,
That's right.
rather than just letting our knee-jerk reaction take over.
That's it.
Okay, got it.
Then you have action,
Okay.
which is making choices and taking steps
Huh.
that align with your values,
Right.
and also doing your duty for the common good.
Okay.
This is where the rubber meets the road, so to
Mhm.
speak.
Yeah,
It's about putting those Stoic principles into practice.
gotcha.
And then there's will.
Well, this one seems a little trickier.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Will is about accepting what we can't control,
Okay.
maintaining inner peace, even when things don't go our way.
Right.
It's not about giving up,
Right.
but it's about recognizing
Okay.
that some things are simply beyond our influence.
Right.
And Stoicism emphasizes focusing your energy on what you can change
Okay.
rather than dwelling on what you can't.
So it's like,
Okay.
hey, life's going to throw you curveballs, but you get to choose how you swing at them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great analogy.
Okay.
The Stoics would say
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of our suffering comes from our own perceptions and judgments,
Right.
not necessarily from the events themselves.
Now, speaking of things that we can't always control,
Yeah.
distractions.
Oh, yeah. Distraction.
Ryan Holiday draws this parallel between the Stoic concept of distractions
Yeah.
and the modern world.
Absolutely.
Wait.
Totally.
Yeah.
The Stoics were wary of distractions.
Okay.
Things like gossip,
Mm-hmm.
the constant demands of work, fear, suspicion, lust.
Right.
They saw all of these as obstacles to living a virtuous life.
Okay, but those don't sound all that different
Right.
from the distractions we deal with today.
Right.
We might not have had togas back then,
Right.
but we've got smartphones,
Oh, yeah.
social media.
The 2047 news cycle.
Right.
It's like we are bombarded
That's true.
constantly with stuff.
That pulls us away from what matters.
That pulls us away from what matters.
They knew the seductive power of distractions.
Yeah.
And the toll that those can take on our well-being.
Mental clarity.
Mental clarity, yeah.
So they saw these distractions as sinkholes.
Sinkholes, yes.
Things that just suck up our time and energy.
Yeah.
And they actually had specific strategies
They did.
for combating these things.
Yeah.
We
What's
can,
today?
even today,
Okay.
spill the beans.
Spill the beans. What were they?
So for starters,
Yeah.
they emphasized mindfulness,
Okay.
being present in the moment and being aware of what's pulling your attention away.
Okay.
They also practiced self-control,
Right.
choosing to focus on what's important
Yeah.
rather than getting swept away by every passing whim or impulse.
Okay.
What do you think of it?
So it's not about becoming some kind of hermit
Yeah.
and disconnecting from the world completely.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's about being intentional
Right.
with your attention,
Okay.
cultivating a sense of inner stillness amidst all the chaos.
Gotcha.
And that brings us to
What's that?
another really intriguing aspect
Okay.
of Stoicism,
Yeah.
their view of wealth and freedom.
Okay.
Ryan Holiday talked about this Stoic paradox.
Yeah.
He says, there are two ways to be wealthy:
Oh, yeah.
to get everything you want
Mm-hmm.
or to want everything you have.
That's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
The Stoics believed
Okay.
that true wealth and freedom
Yeah.
came not from having more, but from desiring less.
Okay.
They saw desire
Right.
as a constant source of dissatisfaction,
Interesting.
always chasing after the next thing,
Yeah.
never truly content
Right.
with what you have.
So how do we apply this
How do we apply this?
in our own lives?
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to get caught up
I know.
in that whole keeping up with the Joneses mentality.
It's easy.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It starts with shifting our perspective.
Right.
The Stoics weren't against wealth,
Right.
but they believed that it shouldn't be our primary focus.
Yeah, okay.
They understood
Mm-hmm.
that material possessions
Yeah.
can't truly make us happy.
Okay. And there's that story,
It's about
Warren Buffett
one of the richest guys in the world.
still lives in the same house he bought
front of
back
me.
in 1958.
I know.
Or Kawhi Leonard,
Oh, yeah.
the NBA star driving around in his old Chevy Tahoe.
It's wild.
It's not about depriving yourself,
Right.
but about recognizing that
Yeah.
true freedom
Mm-hmm.
comes from wanting what you already have,
Exactly.
not constantly striving for more.
That's it.
It's about finding contentment
Yeah.
in simplicity.
Which is hard.
Now that's interesting
It-
because a lot of us are taught to always want more,
Uh-huh.
always strive for bigger and better things.
Yeah.
But the Stoics are saying that
Yeah.
that constant chasing
I know.
can actually make us less free.
Makes us less free.
So what does this all mean for us?
What does it mean?
Are we supposed to just like give away all of our possessions?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Live like monks.
Not at all.
Okay.
It's about finding a balance.
Okay.
The Stoics were all about
Yeah.
living in the real world,
Right.
not escaping from it.
Okay.
It's about recognizing
All right.
that true happiness and freedom
Yeah.
come from within,
Okay.
not from external possessions or achievements.
So how do we actually
Actually,
cultivate that inner peace
Inner peace.
and freedom?
The Stoics emphasized self-awareness and reasoned choice.
Okay.
They believed
Mm-hmm.
that by examining our thoughts and motivations,
Yeah.
we could make better decisions
Right.
and live in alignment with our values.
Okay.
They had specific techniques for doing this,
Oh, yeah.
like examining our impressions
Okay.
and focusing on what we can control.
Yeah.
What do you think about those?
Those sound interesting.
They're good ones.
But can you break those down a little bit?
Of course.
What do those actually look like
Yeah.
in practice?
So let's start with examining our impressions.
Okay.
This is basically about questioning your automatic reactions
Right.
and deciding whether those thoughts are actually true or helpful.
So like instead of letting a
Yes.
negative thought just spiral out of control,
Yeah.
we stop and ask ourselves, is this really true?
Is it true?
Is this thought serving me?
That's right.
Or is it just causing me unnecessary stress?
Right.
So it's like putting our thoughts on trial,
That's a great way to put it.
right? Not just taking them at face value,
Uh-huh.
but really scrutinizing them.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's examining our impressions.
Uh-huh.
What about focusing on what we can control?
That one seems pretty self-explanatory,
Yeah,
but I'm guessing there's more to it
right.
than meets the eye.
How do we actually do that?
It sounds simple,
Okay.
but it is incredibly powerful.
All right.
This practice is all about recognizing
Yeah.
that we can control our own thoughts,
Okay.
actions,
Mm-hmm.
judgments,
Right.
but we can't control external events,
Right.
other people's opinions,
Yeah.
or the weather, for that
Yeah.
matter.
Right.
The Stoics believe
Yeah.
that a lot of our anxiety and frustration
Mm-hmm.
comes from trying to control
Right.
things that are ultimately outside of our control.
Okay. That makes sense.
It does.
How do you...
How do you shift our focus?
It takes practice.
Okay.
But one way is to start by simply becoming aware
Hmm.
of the things that you're worried about.
Yeah.
Are they things within your control,
Right.
or are they things you have no power over?
Once we start to see the distinction,
Yeah.
we can start to let go
Right.
of the things we can't control
Okay.
and focus our energy on what we can.
I'm starting to see
Yeah.
how this ties into
Yeah.
that whole accepting what we can't change idea.
It does.
It's not about being passive.
No.
But it's about recognizing
Yeah.
where our energy
Where it goes.
is best spent.
Exactly.
Okay.
The Stoics weren't advocating
Right.
for complete detachment
Yeah.
from the world.
Okay.
It's about being mindful
Yeah.
of your internal state,
Mm-hmm.
recognizing your limits,
Right.
and directing your efforts
Yeah.
towards what you can influence.
This reminds me of
What's that?
that serenity prayer.
Oh, yeah.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change,
Mhm.
the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
That's good.
It's like a modern day
It is.
Stoic
There are
moment.
definitely parallels there.
Yeah.
The Stoics would agree with that sentiment.
Right.
That focus on what we can control
Okay.
can be incredibly liberating.
Right.
Because it frees us from worrying
Right.
about things we can't change.
So it's like we're choosing our battles wisely,
Exactly.
putting our energy into things
That's right.
where we can actually make a difference.
That's it.
And that brings us to
That's...
another important aspect of Stoicism.
Yeah, what is it?
Their insights
Okay.
into dealing with difficult people.
Oh, dealing with difficult people, yes.
Because let's face it,
Okay.
we all have to deal with
Yeah.
difficult people sometimes.
It's part of life.
Even the Stoics, with all their wisdom, must have
yeah.
had to deal with
There I am.
their fair share of annoying people.
Of course.
Right.
They weren't immune to the challenges of human
No.
interaction.
But they had some valuable perspectives
Yes.
on handling
Handling those tricky situations.
those tricky situations.
They did.
There's that great passage
Yeah.
in the Daily Stoic about this.
What is it?
Keep in mind that it isn't the one who has it in for you
Uh-huh.
and takes a swipe that harms you,
Yeah.
but rather the harm comes from your own belief
Right.
about the abuse.
That's right.
So when someone arouses your anger,
Uh-huh.
know that it's really your own opinion fueling it.
Powerful.
That's a powerful
It is.
reminder.
I know.
The Stoics believed that most people
Mhm.
aren't intentionally
Right.
trying to harm us.
Nice.
They're often acting out of ignorance, their own insecurities or past wounds.
That's right.
So it's like, hey,
What?
don't assume the worst
Don't assume the worst in people.
in people.
That's it.
Yeah.
By understanding this,
Okay.
we can approach
Mm-hmm.
difficult situations
Right.
with more compassion
Okay.
and less anger.
That's a tough one
It is.
to put into practice sometimes.
I know it is.
Especially
Yes.
when someone is really
Pushing our buttons.
pushing our buttons.
Right.
But the Stoics believed
The Stoics believe.
it was essential
The
for our own inner peace.
Yes.
They understood
They did.
that holding on to
Anger
and resentment.
and resentment only hurts us in the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the situation.
It doesn't. And
It only adds.
It only adds to our own suffering.
So how do we actually cultivate
Cultivate that compassion
compassion and understanding
and understanding, especially when we're feeling hurt
when we're feeling hurt? Yeah.
or angry.
It takes practice.
Okay.
But one way is to try to see things from the other person's perspective.
Okay.
What might they be going through?
Okay.
What might have led them to act this way?
Right.
This doesn't mean condoning their behavior,
Right.
but it can help us understand it better
Okay.
and respond with more compassion.
It's like
I don't
they're
know.
saying walk a mile in their shoes.
In their shoes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
It's about recognizing
That is.
that we're all interconnected,
Yeah.
that we all have our own struggles,
Uh-huh.
and that judging others harshly
Right.
ultimately doesn't serve anyone.
It doesn't.
Okay.
So we've talked about how.
Right. We've talked about how all this can help us on a personal level,
Yeah.
but Can these ideas
Can they?
also be applied to our work,
Oh, absolutely.
our careers?
Totally.
Okay.
The Stoic principles of virtue,
Mm-hmm.
reason,
Oh.
self-control
Yeah.
are so relevant
Go.
in the workplace.
How so?
They can help us navigate challenges,
Okay.
maintain composure under pressure,
Mm-hmm.
make ethical decisions.
I could see how that could be
Yep.
super helpful.
Oh, no.
Especially today's
Oh,
fast pace.
right. High pressure.
High pressure. That we should approach our work with a sense of duty
Mm.
and excellence,
Okay.
focusing on what we can control,
Okay.
like our effort and our attitude,
Right.
and letting go of the outcomes,
Okay.
which are often beyond our influence.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So whether we're dealing with a difficult boss,
A difficult boss.
a challenging project,
Challenging project.
or even just the daily grind,
The daily grind.
Stoicism can provide us
It can
some valuable,
valuable tools.
and it's about finding
Yeah, what is it about?
that inner calm,
Okay, inner calm.
and focus
amidst the chaos.
on remembering
Right.
that your true worth isn't determined by external success or failure,
Right.
but by your
Yeah.
own character and
Yeah.
integrity.
It sounds like Stoicism is all about
Yeah.
taking responsibility
Taking responsibility.
for our own happiness.
Regardless of our circumstances.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
The Stoics believed that true happiness
Okay.
comes from within,
All right.
from living a virtuous life
Mm-hmm.
in accordance with nature and reason.
Okay.
And that's something we can all strive for,
Right.
regardless of our job title,
Yeah.
our bank account balance.
This is something everyone listening can apply right now.
They can.
Think about one area
Yeah,
of your work where you could practice Stoicism.
that's right.
Is it responding calmly
Calmly.
in a high-pressure situation,
Oh.
or focusing on your effort
Uh-huh.
rather than worrying about external validation?
That's it.
Okay.
Even small changes
Yeah.
in our mindsets and actions
Right.
can lead to significant improvements in
Yeah.
our work lives.
So we've explored
We have.
the key tenets of Stoicism
Uh-huh.
and how they can be applied to modern life.
I know.
From our personal challenges to
Yeah.
our careers.
And everything in between.
Everything in between.
Yeah.
But I keep coming back
Yes.
to this idea of virtue
Oh,
as
yeah.
the ultimate good.
The ultimate good, yeah.
We've touched on it a bit,
We have.
but I think it's worth diving a little deeper.
I think so, too.
What did the Stoics really mean
What do they mean?
by virtue?
That's a great point. It's a
Yeah.
core concept
Okay.
in Stoicism,
Mm.
and it's worth unpacking a bit further.
Okay.
For the Stoics,
Yeah.
virtue wasn't just about being nice
Right.
or following the rules.
Okay.
It was about living
Mm.
in accordance with reason
Okay.
and nature.
Right.
It was about aligning your actions
Okay.
with your highest values:
Okay.
wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
justice,
Okay.
courage,
Yeah.
temperance,
Right.
even when it's difficult.
So it's not just about what we do,
Yeah.
but about
Why we do it.
why we do it.
Yeah.
Our motivations
Yeah.
and intentions matter.
Absolutely. Just as much.
Just as much as our actions.
As our
do.
actions, the Stoics believe that virtue is its own reward.
Okay.
It's not about
Right.
seeking external validation
Yeah.
or praise,
Okay.
but it's about living a life of integrity
Right.
and authenticity,
Okay.
even when no one is watching.
That's a powerful.
It
That's-
is a powerful concept.
It also sounds incredibly challenging.
It is.
It does.
It's a lifelong journey
Yeah.
of self-discovery
Yeah.
and growth.
Oh.
It's about constantly striving
Right.
to
Mhm.
become
Mhm.
the best versions of ourselves.
And it's about recognizing
Yes.
that we're all works in progress.
We are all works in progress.
And we're all going to make mistakes.
We're gonna make mistakes along the way.
Right.
The Stoics understood that
Yeah.
we're all human
Right.
and that perfection is unattainable.
It's like that quote
Yeah.
from Epictetus. Just as one person delights in improving his farm
Uh-huh.
and another his horse, so I delight in attending to my own improvement day by day.
Yeah, it's about that continuous
Continuous self-improvement.
self-improvement. And that improvement,
Doesn't happen overnight.
it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
It takes time, it takes effort,
Right.
and a willingness to confront our own shortcomings.
It's about embracing those challenges,
Uh-huh.
those difficult people,
The difficult people.
those unexpected setbacks,
The setbacks.
and using them as opportunities.
as opportunities to learn and grow.
That's it.
The Stoics would say
They would.
that those challenges
Yeah.
are what forge our character,
They forge our character,
test our resilience,
test our resilience.
and ultimately help us
help us.
become stronger and wiser.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
from perception and action
Huh.
to distractions,
Yeah,
wealth,
right.
death, virtue,
Right.
all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yeah.
But one question that I think is on everyone's mind is,
What's that?
how do we find the time
Well, the time.
for all of this?
Right.
Life is busy. It can be hard to fit in.
Fit in one more thing.
One more thing?
The Stoics would say,
Yeah, what would they say?
we don't find time.
Okay.
We make time
We make time.
for what's important.
Okay.
And practicing Stoicism doesn't
Okay.
have to be this elaborate ritual.
Okay.
It can be integrated
Right.
into our daily lives
Okay.
in small but meaningful ways.
So it's about those small choices we make throughout the day.
Right.
It's about pausing
Pausing, yeah.
before reacting,
Before reacting,
choosing our words carefully,
choosing your words.
taking a moment to appreciate
Appreciate what you have.
what we have.
That's right.
Those seemingly insignificant moments
Yeah,
are actually opportunities
they are.
to practice stoicism,
To strengthen our self-control.
strengthen,
To cultivate gratitude.
cultivate gratitude.
To live with greater intention.
That's it.
There's a quote from Marcus Aurelius
Oh, yeah.
that really captures this.
What is it?
In your actions, don't procrastinate. In your conversations, don't confuse.
Right.
In your thoughts, don't wander. In your soul, don't be passive or aggressive.
Yeah.
In your life, don't be all about business.
That's so good.
That's like a blueprint
Yeah.
for living a more mindful and fulfilling life.
Those words are so relevant
Right.
even today
Yeah.
as they were centuries ago.
It's a reminder
It is.
to approach every aspect of our lives
Yeah.
with intention
Intention focus.
and a commitment to excellence.
Commitment to excellence.
Okay, I love that.
It's good stuff.
So Stoicism isn't about becoming a completely different person overnight.
No, it's not.
It's about
Making small, consistent changes.
consistent changes that gradually add up to
Yeah.
a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
Exactly.
So how do we even get started?
How do we get started?
Are there any specific practices or exercises
Oh, there are. Okay.
you recommend?
One simple practice
Yeah.
is to start each day
Okay.
with a Stoic meditation.
Stoic meditation.
This could be reading a passage
Yep.
from the Daily Stoic,
Uh-huh.
reflecting on a Stoic quote,
Okay.
or simply taking a few moments to focus on your breath
Yeah.
and cultivate that sense of inner stillness.
I like that one.
Okay, that sounds manageable.
Manageable.
Yes.
Throughout the day,
Okay.
try to be more mindful of your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions.
Okay.
When you encounter a challenge, ask yourself,
Okay.
is this something I can control?
Right.
If not,
Yeah.
practice acceptance.
Okay.
And focus your energy on what you can influence.
So it's about taking those Stoic principles and applying them to our everyday lives.
Applying them.
Those little moments that make up our days, I have to admit.
I'm not
I'm still a little
intimidated by the whole thing.
Stoic philosophy.
Yeah.
It can feel pretty intense sometimes.
Stoicism can seem daunting at first,
Okay.
but remember,
Yeah.
it's not about,
Becoming some kind of emotionless robot.
no.
It's about cultivating
It's about
wisdom
resilience
and virtue.
and virtue.
It's about living a life of purpose and meaning,
That's it.
even amidst challenges.
Even amid the challenges.
So it's not about suppressing our emotions, but about managing them in a way
Yes.
that empowers us to live better lives.
That's a great way to put it.
I think one thing
Yeah.
that makes Stoicism so appealing,
What is it?
even today,
Yeah.
is that it offers this sense,
So what?
hope, and
what?
empowerment.
Empowerment.
Like no matter what's going on in the world around us,
Yeah.
we always have the power to choose how we respond.
That's beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Stoicism reminds us
It does.
that we're not victims of circumstance.
We're not victims.
We have the power
We have the power,
to choose our thoughts.
our actions,
Wow.
and ultimately our destiny.
I love that.
This brings us back to that idea of living
Living in accordance with nature,
in accordance with nature.
which we talked about earlier.
Right.
What did the Stoics really mean by that?
That's a great question
It is.
to ponder.
It is.
So the Stoics, living in accordance with nature,
Uh-huh.
meant
And
understanding the natural order
A natural order
of the universe
of the universe.
and our place within it.
That's right.
It's about recognizing that we're part of something larger
Than ourselves.
than ourselves.
And living in harmony with that greater whole.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing
Yeah.
that we are part of this
Grand tapestry of existence.
grand tapestry of existence.
That's very good.
It involves accepting the
accept-
cyclical nature of life,
The sixth nature.
the ebb and flow of events,
But the flow.
and our interconnectedness
Interconnectedness
with all things.
with all things.
It's about understanding
Yeah.
that we are all
It's
part
about
of this
part.
incredible web of life,
Yes,
and that our actions have an impact
they do.
on the world around us.
Absolutely.
This reminds me of that quote
What's that?
from Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius.
Meditate often on the interconnectedness and mutual interdependence of all things
Yeah.
in the universe.
That interconnectedness
Right?
should inspire us.
To act with compassion
With compassion
and understanding to contribute to the common good.
the common good
And to live our lives
with a sense of purpose
with a sense of purpose and meaning.
and meaning.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Stoicism,
into Stoicism.
I want to leave our listeners with this challenge.
Okay, what's the challenge?
Take some time to reflect
Okay.
on what it means to live
To live
in accordance with nature.
in accordance with nature
How can you align
and your actions.
your actions and choices
Yeah.
with this principle?
That's a good one.
And how might this perspective
Yeah.
shift your priorities
Shift your
and
priorities.
choices in the year ahead?
I like that. That's a powerful question.
It is.
And one that the Stoics encouraged us to really grapple with.
Yeah.
For them, it wasn't about literally living in the wilderness,
Okay.
but it was about
Yeah.
aligning yourself
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah.
the fundamental principles of the universe.
Okay.
Reason,
Reason.
virtue,
Sure.
and acceptance of what is.
Those it's about
Recognizing the
recognizing
patterns and rhythms of nature
Oh,
and applying those insights to our own lives.
I'm starting to see
Yeah.
how all of these
connect.
Stoic principles connect from self-control and resilience
Mm-hmm.
to virtue.
Yeah.
And this idea of living in harmony with nature.
Living in harmony.
It is.
They all fit
It
together
all fits together.
to create this framework for
Yeah.
living a good life.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
The Stoics believe that all of these principles are interconnected
Right.
and mutually reinforcing.
Okay.
They saw virtue as the foundation of a good life.
Yeah.
And they believe that practicing self-control,
Mhm.
resilience,
Civility.
and acceptance of what is
Right.
were all essential for cultivating virtue.
So it's not about mastering
It's always
one specific technique
no.
or memorizing a bunch of quotes.
No,
It's
it's
something-
about embracing this whole philosophy,
Okay.
this way of life.
I think that's what makes
You know,
Stoicism
it is so appealing. It's not just a set of rules.
right.
It's a philosophy that can guide us
Okay.
through the complexities of life
Mhm.
and help us find meaning and purpose.
And it's a philosophy
And it is.
that is accessible to everyone.
It is.
You don't have to be a scholar or a philosopher
No, you don't. To
benefit
sit from
for Stoic wisdom.
That's right.
So as we wrap up this
Yeah.
deep dive,
This deep dive.
I want to encourage everyone listening
Yeah.
to explore Stoicism further.
Explore it.
Pick up a copy of the Daily Stoic,
Yeah.
read the writings of Marcus Aurelius,
Wow.
Seneca,
Yeah.
and see what resonates with you.
And remember,
What's that?
Stoicism
Mhm.
is not about
Yeah.
achieving some perfect state of enlightenment.
Okay.
It's about progress, not perfection.
It's about those small daily choices
It is.
that gradually shape our character
Yeah.
and lead us towards a more fulfilling.
A more fulfilling and meaningful life.
The Stoics understood
Yeah, did.
that we are all works in progress.
Right.
What matters is that we keep striving,
We got to keep striving.
keep practicing,
Keep practicing.
keep growing.
Keep growing.
That's right.
And that we keep diving deep.
We got to keep diving deep.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Stoicism.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
We hope you found it insightful and inspiring.
We do.
Until next time, keep seeking wisdom,
Yes.
keep practicing virtue,
Keep practicing.
and keep those minds curious.